Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Greetings from this part of the world. It's afternoon here already, and this is Faith Giant TV. My name is Giant Sokey, Clarence Obaje, and we bring to you our live shows. We call it Frequently Asked Questions. Please just stay tuned as we are bringing you today a very interesting topic. We're going to be discussing about men of God and ministers and how they have been constantly murdered with atom. And we want to get the view of others and know what it looks like and what these people go through. But with me here is a very important person. Still with me, and we're doing this together. We have some questions that we've harvested and would like to, discuss this with her and get your views as well. I'm sure it's going to be an interesting section. You don't want to miss for anything. Just stay tuned with us. So it will be nice for us to know what these men of God actually feel when they hear some of the horrible things that have been said about them. That's why Giant O and I were here today. So Giant O, I just want to ask you some few questions, and we just get your view on this. There's been so many scandals about some men of God. So many terrible things being said about them. A lot of people will just say terrible things, and of course, we understand that this is necessarily not true. Like most of these things that they say against these men of God, they may actually not be true, right? But my question is, why are people so concerned about men of God?
Thank you very much. I want to it is a walk on the pit of hell. We just want to focus and destroy the work of God on it and make men of God feel so bad about it and want to give Christianity shape, which is actually not possible.
Okay.
So they make them feel so bad. And when you hear things so negative about men of God, and you begin to ask yourself, these ones, are they real men of God?
Honestly, some despicable things. So it's just a way of distracting the men of God, swaying them off their calling and their point. And honestly, I believe that what you have just said is so true, because if you hear some of these things, it's more than enough to put anybody or throw anybody off balance.
Yes.
It's more than enough to just make anybody feel very confused and worried, like well, sometimes they just bring up a story. A certain man of God was caught in a hotel at a social time with a social person. Funny enough, that man of God may never have even been in that hotel, or may not even have known where that hotel is.
And how do you think the congregation of that man of God will be feeling? Some might not even go to church again.
Of course, because you would not want to associate with a man of a questionable character, or a woman who has questionable character. So I truly believe that it just comes as a way of distracting men of God. Okay, so these people who just enjoy doing that, do you think they're actually doing this? Some of these people who discuss men of God, or who talk against men of God, who murder them, nail them. Do you think there's a special reason why they do this, or maybe some just want to gain publicity, famosity? Is that true?
I think so, because if you actually want to be famous, all you have to do is talk about men of God.
In fact, one thing I've realized is that if you want to be famous, just do anything nasty. This is not the time where people just want to, in fact, if you are too good, nobody will recognize you, nobody knows you. You can never go on social media.
Yes.
Yeah, you just have to do one terrible thing.
And you have lots of followers.
Yes, you just have to do one abomination. In fact, if somebody walks naked on the street now, that person has become a celebrity all of the night, all of a sudden, So you just have to, embark on doing something very terrible, and then that's a speedy way to becoming a celebrity.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to ask again, beloved sister, do you think there's a special consequence or consequences attached to many of these people who back of these things, like, is there any biblical reference? Because some people just feel they can do these things and walk away, or I mean, there is nothing. And honestly speaking, even if these men of God are actually guilty, these ministers are actually guilty of whatever they've been accused of, who are you to judge? So now, is there any special consequences or punishment attached?
Yes.
Like especially in the biblical aspect? I'd like you to just
so much. The Bible says, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm.
Okay.
When God created them and made them priests, He's the only one that has the capacity to judge them. You don't have the capacity to judge them. The Bible said David was the man after my heart. We know the atrocity he committed, but yet God loved him so much. Are you understanding? So people out there don't have right to judge priests. Leave judgment for God. And the repercussion is also very severe.
Sure.
When God decides to remember those people, the story is something else.
And what people don't realize is that the Bible said the gift of God is without repentance.
Yes.
So even if that man of God actually fell or is doing something terrible or worth judging in your eyes, in the eyes of God,
and you're supposed to even pray for him.
In the eyes of God, this person may still even be a saint.
Yes.
I mean, what God sees may not be what we see.
We don't
so
know
we don't
God's
even know
measurements.
exactly. So we don't even know. Thank you. We don't know God's measurements for His judgment or punishment.
Yes.
Right. So we don't even know how we should or can, judge or talk against these people. Honestly, it's becoming very, very alarming, and it's just like it's a trendy thing for every man of God. For you to start doing the work of God, you should get prepared to be persecuted. Yes, to be persecuted on social media. And you know what? Social media is not even just helping the situation. Prior to this time where technology was not this advanced, I mean, we used to hear the fall of men of God and all of that, but it was not this advanced.
Yes,
it was not this bad. Now, I mean, before you drink water and drop the cup, you're already online. You're already on air, like everybody has heard your story. You're not, in fact, you're just the next gist. So it now looks like these people don't have a life behind the stage or behind the screen. It looks like they don't have a life. So this brings me to my next question, ma'am. Do you think they have emotions, or do you think that, okay, no, of course they do have emotions, but do you think some of these things get to them? Hearing some of these gossip, some of these murdering words, these hating and hurting words, do you think it actually gets to them, and how do they feel?
They are human, and it really gets to them. Men of God, they are men before they become God. So it's actually the same blood that flows through their veins. Some of them feel so bad that it's like a story. Let me tell you something that happened in the social media about some couple of months ago. A wedding was supposed to take place in the church of this man of God. He flew into America for medical checkups, and he came back. I think that day of the wedding, that was when he came back. So he was actually in the office and later came outside to actually get those people married, and they were not there. You know, wedding now, the bride wants to look good and whatever. Yes. So he became tired because he wasn't actually strong enough.
No. Yeah.
So he went to his office. So later, when the bride and the groom came, he now said, okay, I'm so strong, I can't stand. Why don't you come to my office? I will officiate the wedding. Wed both of you, and you go downstairs, sing, and later go to your reception. They said no. And at the end of the day, because the man was actually very strong, he entered his car and left. And it went viral. Stupid man, useless man. You understand? He's so proud, he's so pompous. Imagine the man telling us to come to the office to come and have us wedded. And he did not know what that man was feeling. He shedded tears. That was a man that the wife died 2020.
Wow, just last year.
Yes. And he had his own health issue. Do you know the next day the man died?
Wow.
With that pain.
Wow.
But it has actually gone viral that he's a wicked man. Can you erase that name?
Wow.
He's a pompous man, he's a stupid man, and I guess he died regretting so many things. Imagine that kind of a name.
Even if he may not even have died, the pain, the health issues alone that he had, may not have carried him.
They don't want to know. People don't
But
care.
the truth is that ministers of God, they also have their problems.
Yes.
Of course, you don't want to even imagine what a lot of them go through. Some people don't envy pastors because the problems they go through is so enormous that they have to just cover theirs, just wrap up their own and come out before the camera all smiling,
Yes.
praying for you, but you don't know what a lot of them are going through.
They have
And
emotions.
ministerially they have been trained to
To absorb.
place, yes, to absorb and to place other people's requests above them.
Yes.
As a minister, they'll keep telling me that your own problem is automatically taken care of by God.
Yes.
So just keep your own aside and
Focus.
pray for the other person, focus on the other person. And so they just grow with these emotions that we are trained not to pray for ourselves. We're trained not even to worry about our own self. But sometimes even if the devil does not attack them, he attacks their families.
Yes, their children.
He attacks their children, wives, and all of that, husbands and spouses.
It's like what I just said
terrible.
about the man of God.
Yeah.
One died from ovarian cancer.
Wow.
And I think what killed him was a kidney failure, whatever. Can you get it? So it's actually so painful. They have feelings. But most of us don't understand that they feel they're human. You take them and you begin to break them like melon. No regard, no respect, no care. The same way you have feelings is the same way they have feelings. The same way you have challenges is the same way they have challenges. And they just bottle it up. Imagine the man with that situation of that illness could actually fly in and he did not go straight to his house. I guess maybe the doctor even told him he will not last another 2 days. And he wasn't even ready to tell people that.
Of course, because sometimes when you tell them, it becomes discouraging. So a lot of people,
yes,
that's what it is. These men of God, they have it like. Okay, so thank you so much, Giant Ogo. We're coming to the end of this, but I'd like you to just give us a last message to the viewers out there, especially to people who have made it an addiction for them to, some people just even can't stay without talking against other themselves. Not to mention men of God, ministers of God, servants of God. So I feel we should have maybe a parting message to people who just enjoy indulging in this attitude, who maybe consciously or unconsciously partake in this kind of things. Or maybe you could know someone out there, viewers, who do these things consecutively. We have a word for you today, right? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to beg you, please, disease from it. I have seen lots of people being destroyed because of things they have actually spoken about men of God. Just check in the Bible. We heard when Miriam was against Moses' wife. At the end of the day, we saw having affected with leprosy. Lots of people like that. When you cast against men of God, you might not even see it now. It might be future generation. They begin to suffer for what they did not sow, what you have sown for them. So please, desist from it. If you see a man of God falling because he's a man of God, pray for him. Back him up in prayer. Don't castigate him. Don't insult him. When you're insulting him, you're insulting God, because it is actually God that put him there. It is God that gave him that anointing that he's carrying. So please, I beg of you, respect them. They are the gods that will see your earth. So please respect them, so that you don't carry curses. Because it's like walking the prophet. You either get a blessing or a curse. So please, I beg of you, stay clear from it. Disease from it. Pray for them, and God will bless you tremendously.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
It was so amazing having you. That's why I always look forward to having you. Viewers out there, friends, this is a message to everyone there. Peradventure you indulge in this attitude, consciously or unconsciously, like I said earlier, it's time to take a walk out of it. It's not a good attitude to speak against men of God, women of God, ministers of God, anybody you know. The Bible said the gift of God is without repentance. Do not touch my prophet. Do them no harm.
Yes.
There is a punishment attached to people who indulge in this attitude automatically, and you wouldn't want to be. Just like she said, you may not even experience those punishments right now, but in the long run, it could be you, it could be any member of your family.
Yes.
So it's time to take a walk out of this attitude. Even if those people are actually guilty, Even if you think that they are so guilty with everything, even if they do this thing in your presence and you have all the evidence to prove that, I mean, this servant of God was caught in total issue or one thing, one scandal or the other, please let it not come from you.
Yes.
Don't be an oracle of bad news. Don't be the one to castigate or be the one to bring the information.
Yes.
It's time to take a walk. Thank you so much. It's always amazing doing this with you, Giant Obo, and thank you so much for streaming live with us. I mean, this is frequently asked question and Youth from Faith Giant TV. Thank you so much one more time. My name is Giant Sokey. It's been amazing doing this over and over again. Tune in next time, by this time next week, for another interesting episode. God bless you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Audio Jungle.